They found him kneeling in the dust, clutching a small gourd to his chest, as if it were his last breath. His fine robe was torn, his eyes hollow, his lips whispering to something unseen. Weeks earlier, Kweku had been the wealthiest man in the village. Now, the wind carried only the echo of his fall. To understand how he came to this, we must begin with the day the stranger arrived. The savanna shimmered under the heat, and the scent of roasted yam drifted through Okoto's narrow paths. Kweku, restless as always, leaned against a fence, scanning the road for anything that might break his boredom. She came walking slowly, her silver hair glinting under the sun, her blue patterned cloth stirring in the wind. Ama was no ordinary elder. Her name was whispered from market to market as a keeper of riddles and secrets. Kweku's curiosity flared like dry grass catching fire. Ama stopped before Kweku and studied him as if weighing more than just his height and build. From within her cloth, she drew a small calabash, its surface etched with delicate symbols like winding rivers and curling smoke. It seemed to hum faintly in her hands. "This," Ama said softly, "is the Calabash of Truth. Speak into it, and it will answer. But take heed, it tells the truth only to those with clean hearts. The greedy will hear lies shaped from their own desire and be led to ruin." Her eyes did not blink as she spoke. Kweku chuckled lightly. "Truth is truth, no matter the heart," he said. Ama only smiled, a smile that felt like a warning disguised as kindness, and placed the gourd in his hands. Its weight was more than its size suggested, as if it carried something unseen. That night, when the village had quieted and only the crickets sang, Kweku sat outside his hut. He leaned close to the gourd and whispered, "How can I become rich quickly?" The calabash warmed in his palms, and a calm, deep voice replied, "Work the soil with patience, and you will harvest plenty." He frowned. Patience. That is for farmers with bent backs and cracked hands. He tried again, changing the wording, but the answer was the same. He set the gourd aside, muttering that perhaps it was broken, or worse, enchanted by a fool. Days passed, and Kweku kept testing it. Where could he find treasure? Which trader could be tricked? Which gamble would pay? The calabash's voice never changed its tune. Work with honesty. Work with patience. But Kweku's mind spun like a spider's web, weaving other paths. He began buying grain from traders when prices were low and selling it for triple when hunger struck. Coins piled in his pouch, and his smile grew wider, but his neighbor's eyes grew colder. Children no longer waved when he passed. When Ame returned months later, the air in Okoto was tense. "Your young friend grows rich," whispered an elder to her, "but our stomachs grow empty." That evening, she found Kweku wearing a robe bright as ripe mango skin, smiling as if the drought had never touched him. "You used the calabash," Ama said, "but not with a clean heart." Kweku laughed. "It told me to work, and I did. I worked my mind, not my back." In the firelight between them, the gourd's carvings seemed less vivid, its glow dimmed. The next season, the rains betrayed them. Fields cracked open, the river thinned to mud, and the air tasted of dust. Traders stopped coming, and Kweku's coins could not buy food that did not exist. The people began to turn their backs when he called. One night, desperate, he pulled the calabash close. "Tell me how to fix this," he shouted. But only silence came. The truth had turned its face from him. His own voice echoed back, hollow and cold. At dawn, Ama found him by the dry riverbed. "It will speak again," she said, "when your heart is ready to listen." "And how do I make it ready?" he asked. "Give without asking, help without counting." So Kweku began giving grain, coins, even his robe, to widows, to children, to strangers. At first, people took without a word. Then they began to meet his eyes again, to greet him, to smile. When the rains came, the river roared back to life. The fields turned green, and the scent of wet earth filled the air. That night, Kweku held the calabash again. "What should I do now?" he asked. Its voice returned, warm and steady. "Keep your hands open, and your heart will never be empty." Kweku smiled, the words sinking deep into him like rain into dry soil. Years passed, and Kweku never sought riches again. His granary was always full, his friends many, and his sleep deep. Children ran to greet him, and elders spoke his name with pride. When he was gone, they still told his story of the man who once traded grain for gold, and then gold for kindness. And they would always end with Ama's words, "Help without counting." And sometimes, on quiet nights, a faint humming could be heard from the shelf in Kweku's old hut, as if the Calabash of Truth was waiting, patient as the earth, for the next heart ready to listen. Moral of the tale: honesty and humility lead to prosperity, while greed brings ruin.